And we are live once again, back with another live stream. I'm joined by two very esteemed NBA expert guests. Ali has appeared on the podcast before with the NBA. We break down the offseason last season. Michael, it's been a while. We haven't heard from you since the football season, but now you're here to break down the NBA bracket. We have problem with this, scheduling conflicts. We couldn't get the full bracket due to the play-in games. We had 2 play-in games last night, but we have 3 more rounds of play-in games to go. We'll just kind of wing it as we go. So first, I want to open the floor up. It's been a while since we've heard from either of you guys, so if there's any thoughts you have on anything in general, or you can kind of lean that into your NBA overall general thoughts before we get into like the specificity of it all. Ali, if you want to tip us off, if anything, with anything.
I'll be moving to Boston in August. That's it.
Nice. That's
awesome. Why am I the only one wearing anything NBA correlated?
I got some stuff later. Don't worry.
All right, we got some.
I almost put on a Knicks Kristaps jersey, but
didn't. Michael,
I don't really have any thoughts. Did either of you watch the play-in games yesterday?
I did. I watched both.
Yeah,
I didn't watch either.
The end of the second one.
The Grizzlies Warriors.
First game was lit. Trey getting thrown out was
that was
very
funny.
Good.
I wasn't really watching that one once it was a blowout because I was just like doing homework on the side, but the second game was definitely.
You gotta know your matchup though.
I don't really care.
I placed a wager on the Hawks, and then by the time I was home, it wasn't close, so I didn't turn it on. And then I turned on the Grizzlies game for half a second before I watched the Daredevil finale, and they were up like 11-3. I was like, oh shit, they're gonna win, but there's no chance I'm staying up to watch the end of that game. And then I heard it was a pretty good game, but did you stay up, Mikey?
No, I fell asleep.
Okay. Yeah, so Magic advance.
Got work.
I know. Well, 10 p.m. You got to be kidding me. Well, we can talk about it later, but Sunday 9:30 start for Warriors Rockets.
That's ridiculous. Oh my god, I didn't even know that.
All right, so we will give our overall bracket predictions. I want to create a system since we're kind of in a weird space. So here's how the points will work. 1 point for each correct play-in game winner. So we'll talk about each of the play-in games, and then every game of those you pick correctly is 1 point. I mean, it's whatever. You have a 1 in 2 chance, and then a 1 in 3 chance for both sides. And then for each round, first round, if you pick the correct winner, it's 1 point, and then that doubles each round. So if you, for example, pick the Celtics to win in the first round and the second round, you get 2 points for picking them in the second round, 1 point for winning the first round, and you get an additional point for the correct amount of games. But you have to be specific. You can't say, I think they're going to win in 5 or 6. You have to say Celtics will win in 5 games. So then we'll keep track of that bracket. I don't know what your guys' schedule looks like, but I have another guest potentially to join us on a panel in the future, but we'll see who can come back, whatever, but I will keep track. I'll listen back and see what happens after the first round. So with that being said, let's jump right in. So tonight we have only mere minutes before this game tips off. We have the Heat taking on the Bulls in Chicago. Young upstart.
In Miami.
Oh, it's in Miami?
Yeah.
Oh, that changes my opinion a little bit.
I think, actually. Let me look. I'm
No,
95.
it's at Chicago.
Look at this. What? NBA expert.
Chicago.
Anyways, so back to what I was saying. Chicago's had a renaissance season. A lot of people are excited about what's going on in Chicago. Kobe White, Josh Giddey. Heat, ever since they traded Jimmy Butler, have been horrific. We'll start with you, Ali, since Mikey kind of was taken aback when I said we were going to be predicting the play-in games. Who do you got tonight?
I got the Bulls.
Or Bulls?
I got the Bulls. I think the Heat have just had one of those seasons where they're just constantly mid, and I think they're fine kind of having like a early teens draft pick, and I think this is clearly they got rid of their best player. They're not looking to contend this year, so I think they're fine getting eliminated. I like Modest Buzelis. Think he's going to be really good.
He's a rookie, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm in agreement. So I also have. What'd you say?
He was in the dunk contest.
Yeah, that was. Oh, he was awful in the dunk contest.
He was really bad.
I'm also gonna go with the hype pick and go with the Bulls at home. I know that he'd have the playoff experience, but post Jimmy Butler, I don't see it.
I'm also going the Bulls for my favorite YouTuber, KOT4Q. I think you guys
King of the
know
Fourth.
who that
I know
is.
who that is.
Kenny Beecham.
Yeah, he's cool. He has like a Spotify ad. I've heard him on the Spotify ad
I
recently.
listen to his podcast like every day.
All right, Michael, take us home. Will you be going with Chicago or?
Yes, I will also be going with Chicago. They got better after they traded Zach LaVine, and Kobe White is a good ball player. So, yeah, nothing else really to say about that. I don't think they beat Atlanta, but we'll see.
We'll talk about that in just a second. Spread on that is -2, so Vegas thinks it'll be close. Next game tonight, the Dallas Mavericks head to Sacramento. This one's a little bit wider on the spread. Kings 4.5-point favorites. We'll kick it back to you, Michael. Who do you have? The Mavericks in a post-Kyrie Irving world with AD. Is AD going to play tonight?
Yeah.
AD versus Sabonis and the Kings.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams are terrible and they're going nowhere. Same as the other two. But I think that for Dallas to win this game and then lose their next game would be perfect for the Nico Harrison hate. So I'm going to take Dallas.
Interesting. I'm going the opposite. I'm taking the Kings. I think it would still be just as funny if they lose tonight. A lot of, Nico's been getting, I saw that interview with Tim McMahon today. A lot of slack going on.
That was the thing. He didn't interview. There was no
That's
cameras.
I saw
I can do
the
another
transcript.
podcast about that.
I saw the transcript.
Yeah, that's so soft.
He's got to, like, do GMs get fired after the season or during? Like, I know the Nuggets GM just got fired, and that was kind of a weird thing. But
they can't fire him. They wanted him to do it so they can move to Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, you're buying into that conspiracy theory.
I believe it.
Not a conspiracy.
It's true.
Las Vegas is like the
They
biggest
just got
market
big
up and
Deckers.
coming.
The American Airlines can go to the W team.
Yeah.
Refresh my memory. How does trading your best player help you advance?
You make your fans hate you so they don't go to the game.
Well, you're missing a big
and
factor.
then you make no money, and then you're like,
they up the
let me
season
go
ticket
make money.
holder price too after the Luka trade. So then they're already out of revenue there from the Luka trade, and then they up the season ticket thing. So then people cancel. So no money. No one's going to the game.
The people that just bought them are from Las Vegas. They're casino owners in Las Vegas.
Okay. Yeah. No, I remember that. I remember that fact. Back to the game. I'm going with the Kings. I like Sabonis. I kind of forgot that they didn't have De'Aaron Fox while making this pick, but I think the Kings have better role players. They're kind of, light the beam. They still got that little phenomenon going on. I think they can get it done tonight. I feel like that spreads a lot, though, than if De'Aaron's not on the team anymore. I mean, who else do the Kings even have? Sabonis.
DeMar DeRozan.
Oh, okay. I like
Zach
my pick
LaVine.
then. I'm rolling. Oh, they have DeMar. Oh, they have LaVine? I'm rolling with the Kings, dude. Kings might blow them out tonight. I'll take Sacramento, Sac City. Ali?
I'm going to take the Kings, too. Those that know that Sabonis always locks up AD.
Any insight into that, or just like...
That's just the reason for my pick is because Sabonis always locks up AD. I don't think any of these teams are going anywhere. But I also think I feel for Mavs fans right now, so let this season just be over for them.
Fair enough. Okay, so I think the next games are Friday then, so Friday night we will have the Hawks awaiting the winner of the Heat and Bulls. We all picked the Bulls. So I'll start this one out. I got the Bulls upsetting the Hawks. I think the Hawks looked dead last night, and even though I didn't watch a second of the game, I just think the Bulls kind of have that good energy of like a young team wanting to prove themselves, and then they run into the Cavs or whatever. But I think they can do it to get the 8th seed. I mean, it feels like these three teams, especially, and the Raptors, are all like the playing teams every year: the Heat, Bulls, Hawks, and Raptors. But I think the Bulls can pull it out. I think, the Hawks, I think something's got to be done there. I feel like they're kind of hovering in no man's land. I know they just had the number 1 pick, but I'm going with the Bulls over the Hawks to advance and play the Cavs. So, Michael, what say you, Bulls, Hawks, Friday night, potentially?
Yeah, I think it's Atlanta because they'll always be in purgatory as long as Trey's there. I mean, being the 9 seed is also purgatory, but being the 8 seed and losing to the Cavs in 4 would be that would be just fine for me.
So, okay. So you have the Hawks. I have the Bulls. Ali, what say you?
I got the Bulls just because the Hawks are so like Resource Shea, if I'm saying that correctly, just is such a streaky shooter. If he's on, the team's gonna probably win. If he's not, which is more likely that he's gonna be having an off night, team just can't do anything. Trey can only do so much, I feel like. But I got the Bulls.
All right. So a little bit different there. We'll have two different first round matchups to analyze. I mean, we'll see if that changes anything in that matchup. But second matchup probably will start at 10 p.m. again. Will be the Kings versus the Grizzlies for me and Ali, and the Mavs versus the Grizzlies for Mikey. So Mikey, since you have Mavs, we'll start with you again. What do you say? AD versus the Grizzlies and John Morant. What have you in this game?
I got Memphis winning this. Like I said before, it'd be great for Nico Harrison to lose in the second play-in game. And Memphis is not really, I don't know how to feel about them because they just fired their coach, 16 games ago or something like that. And they got off to a rough start after they fired him. And then since then, they've been playing better. I've heard like a lot of things out of like their locker room and their players talking about how their offense is more free-flowing and fits their personnel. I don't know if that's true. Maybe we could get Gabe on the line to see if that's true. But, yeah, I got Memphis.
Okay. My pick for this, I'm in agreement with you. I think Memphis advances. I obviously didn't watch the game last night. It went way too late, but I heard they got a bad whistle. And that...
Both teams got a bad whistle.
Did you watch the whole game?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess both teams got a bad whistle. We can...
you know the like
dispute.
L2M report or whatever? There was like, I think it was 6 missed calls or 6 wrong calls in the last minute or something.
I think as like sports fans, we got to stop caring about what the refs do.
I disagree.
They're dominating every sport. It's like college basketball.
Yeah, because they suck.
All right.
Because they're so bad. If Josh Allen gets that 4th and 1, the Chiefs, maybe the Bills are Super Bowl champions.
Okay, well, that's a different story for a different day. Well, they're changing it. No more refs. No more changing.
Well, why? Yeah, I wonder why. Because they got the call wrong.
Because it's okay. Anyways, back to my point. I think the Grizzlies get it done over the Kings. Kings, I mean, they're kind of just that team. I think the Kings lost last season to the Pelicans in the last playing game, if I'm correct. I don't know. I like the Grizzlies. I feel like the Grizzlies have way better depth than the Kings. Like you have Jaren Jackson, Ja. I think Ja is slept on. People like to make fun of him.
Santi Aldama.
Yeah, Santi's the boy, dude. We didn't even talk about fantasy basketball. I like Santi, Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bane. Like, you kidding me? I got the Grizzlies moving on to face the Thunder.
I mean, they were at least they were the two seed at one point this year. They were very recently the 4 seed. So, I mean,
this West was like back and forth until the end, really.
No, I also got the Grizzlies. I think those top 8 teams, like including the Warriors who made it in last night, are very close to each other, maybe with OKC like a tier ahead, but I think the other 7 are really close. So I just think Sacramento, Dallas, whoever it is, can't compete.
Yeah, I think
the Memphis crowd will be.
I think there's levels to the play, and like I think the Mavs and the Kings are on the same level, and then the Grizzlies and Warriors are a step above. Okay, so it's finally time. We've made it through the play-in. We'll start it off in the lesser conference, which quickly before we dive in, what are your guys' thoughts on this? Getting rid of the conferences for the playoffs, seeding the teams 1 through 16.
I don't like it.
Why?
I think one solution is send the flag to the East, make it more competitive. I just think the West is too dominant. Keep them to knock each other out. It just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know. Because in that, wouldn't you anyways get 1, 2, at like 1 West, 2, 3 East, and then
no, the Pacers would be like the Pistons would be like the 11 seed, I think.
So they're a 6 seed in the East and an 11 seed in overall. Like, that's not. I think it would do the same thing, basically.
Michael?
Also, the best part of the playoffs is like the rivalries when
you got
like the Knicks and the Sixers play, and like that's a heated rivalry. So that's like a
and you can travel
series.
too.
And if you got like Knicks versus Warriors or something like that, there's no connection there, and going full travel every other or every fourth day.
Yeah,
or
true.
whatever, but
That's actually fair about the travel part for the players too, not just the fans.
And we can make a new rivalry.
no.
Omari Spellman was on the Warriors, dude. Villanova, former. Okay. All right, so we'll start off with the one-seeded Cavs. Very impressive year this year. A lot of people talking about the Cavs. Oh, there was a moment in time where it looked like they might be up for that win record. So we do have two different matchups here. Ali and I have the Heat headed to Cleveland. Michael, you have the Hawks headed to Cleveland. So we'll start with you. The one-seeded Cavs, are you a believer? And what do you think happens in this round one series against the Atlanta Hawks and Trae Young?
Yeah, I think the Cavs win in 5. And I was very close to making a clean sweep, but the Cavs do have some streaky shooters on their team. And if they're playing Atlanta, Trae could get hot in one game. The thing about Atlanta is that they're very pick and roll dominated, and the Cavs have small guards that'll be guarding Trae in Donovan or Darius Garland. They might put DeAndre Hunter on him, who really knows. But Trae will be able to get his in at least one game, so I'm giving him 1, but Cavs in 5.
You know a little something about that, Trae being able to get his, right?
No, I know nothing about that.
DeAndre
Trae's
Hunter, in this scenario, revenge series.
True.
Georges Niang revenge series too.
Karis LeVert, they get 2 against 1.
Karis LeVert's on the Hawks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
You would have known that if you watched the games yesterday.
I actually planning on watching the games. I'm not even kidding. But then I saw the halftime. They're up 15. I'm like, the Hawks are not coming back in Orlando. So
they kind of almost did. They got it down to 4 at one point, I think. And
did
then
they?
It was over from
I saw that. I saw they ended up losing by I don't know.
They blew the fourth quarter.
I forget that like the NBA is just glitchy in the fourth quarter. Like anything can really happen. So Ali, we'll kick it to you. The one-seeded Cavaliers. Obviously, a lot of banter back and forth between the Cavs and Celtics fan bases this season. So, are you harboring resentment for the Cavs, or do you like them to advance pretty easily?
I'm ready. I'd bring them on. I don't care. I got Cavs in 5 in this one. I guess it would be the Bulls. Like, I don't know. I just feel like the Cavs will have like wet feet in game 4 or something and just then go home and finish it off. But I don't know. I'm ready for the Cavs. Maybe Eastern Conference final matchup with the Celtics. We'll see. I've been chirping all my friends' boyfriends for months. So I'm ready to see how it finally plays out now that we're here. But I think this is an easy first round for the Cavs, regardless of who gets in.
I agree. I have the Cavs in 4 games over the Bulls. I think they're going to come in ready. I mean, they've had a crazy year. They're not even those like old Hawks teams with like Joe Johnson, they'd get their first round sweeps too. I think people like to overrate the first round a little bit. I think rarely you get a game 7.
We did last year with the Cavs.
Yeah. Okay, but that was a 4 versus 5 matchup. This is a 1 versus 8.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Coming in the play-in game, like I think this is going to be an easy, clean sweep for the Cavs. I think they beat the Bulls in 4 games. So now we'll move on to a more.
Heat, 2 years ago, the Heat were an 8 seed.
Yeah, no, I know, but I just think he had Jimmy Butler playoff experience. I have the Bulls in, which is like they're only known for being an 8 seed and getting bounced in sweeps with Kobe White.
Lonzo revenge game.
How so? I think he's still okay. Anyways, moving on to a defined matchup, we saw the Orlando Magic advance and head to face, as we see a champion poster, NBC Sports Boston, NBC 10 WJR, Celtics. I'm repping the jersey, Jason Tatum. It's no secret of who we root for on this podcast, at least my fandoms, but our Celtics face off against the Magic at round 1. I'll start this one out. Sometimes before last year, I was very tentative. I tentatively even picked the Celtics to win the finals because I didn't know, was this team able to get it together and win the finals? Last season, though, they were dominant and not much changed this season. I got the Celtics in 5 games over the Magic. I think the Magic will win a game in Orlando, whether that's game 3 or 4. Seems like the Celtics, even last year, still had those kind of slip-ups where there's just like one game where they lose by like 20. So it's like, okay. But I think they can recover from that and put them away in 5. I got the Celtics in 5 games over the Magic. I was surprised to see the Magic down this far this year. I don't know what happened, if they had injuries or because I remember last year they were a 5 seed almost. I mean, we mentioned it before, almost took the Cavs to the brink in Game 7. Paolo, I really like. I know Paolo was actually out for most of the year, but
Well, then Paolo had a torn oblique or something, and then Franz tore his oblique right when Paolo came back. Weird little injury pattern.
So is
there.
Franz out now?
No, they're both
And
back.
Jalen Suggs is out too.
Yeah, Jalen Suggs is. He didn't even go to the game yesterday, which was a little weird.
No, he was on the bench.
No, I don't.
He was there. He was there. I saw him talking to Gogo Batadze on the bench.
Goga, another fantasy
I saw him at the W draft on.
Yeah, who's his girlfriend? Haley Van Leith?
New Chicago Sky member.
Yeah. Oh, she's on Chicago?
Okay. She's probably going to get cut, but yeah.
Where was the draft? Was it in
New York?
No.
New York.
Close.
All right, we'll kick it to our other Celtics fan. Ali, what do you say?
Yourself?
Celtics, Magic. I already gave my prediction. Celtics in 5.
Same thing. I got Celtics in 5. I think they'll drop game 2 because they suck at home, and they'll walk into Orlando. Sure. And Derek White's going to be like, play that song or Orlando Magic, whatever the little chant is. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. Well, they have a little chant that they do every time that they win, and they post a TikTok, but whatever. But I think this is a huge series for Derek White and Drew Holiday because in Jalen Suggs' spot, they have Corey Joseph starting. Or sure. Corey Joe or whatever his name is. So that's just going to be – that's ridiculous, but whatever. 6 and 5.
Michael?
Yeah, I got Celtics in 6 because the Magic are tough. The Magic are probably the worst first-round matchup that the Celtics could have gotten out of the play-in teams because the Celtics are number 1 three-point shooting volume team and the Magic are the number 1 team defense against teams' three-point percentage. I don't think they're going to win. I think the 2 games that they win will be probably game 2, like Ali said, and then probably the second game at home or the second Magic game at home, they'll take a win. And then I don't think any of the other games will be close. But like you were saying, that happens for the Celtics that they blow some games and they lose by 20 or whatever. But out of the play-in teams that they could have played, the Magic are the worst matchup for them.
Agreed. But
also, they got the defense for it because Franz and Paolo are they're like the perfect wings to match up against Jalen and whatever his name is.
His name's fucking Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
I just don't. I think the Magic's offense is so bad that even if the Celtics shoot the shit out of the ball,
it's horrible. It's like the worst offense in the league, probably.
So bad. I think they need offseason. I think they're going to be looking for Trae Young or LaMelo Ball. And then we're talking a real team, but we can get to that later.
Yeah, I mean.
LaMelo Ball. Okay.
They need a point guard is what they need.
They need KCP to shoot.
Oh, he's so mid.
31% from 3 or whatever he's shooting. But, yeah.
All right, I agree. I want them to get a star, but they're like last offseason there wasn't really a star to get. Like if they got Paul George, they'd be in a weird place. So we'll have to see who becomes available. If they had Podcast P on their team, they'd be like
P. He
was locking in for the playoffs.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
Yeah, he quit his podcast. All right, we'll move on. Another fandom on the pod, Michael. Your New York Knicks. This series has been, I think, of all 8 series that we have first round, I think this is the one I've seen the most on Twitter, maybe just because I follow a couple Knicks fans, like the back and forth discourse on this one. So, as usual, I'll let you have your pick of whether you want to go first or you want to go last with your New York team. Okay.
I'll go.
Allie, we'll kick it to you. Knicks versus Pistons.
All right.
Say you?
People are overthinking this like crazy. It's Knicks in 5, easily. It's not even a question. You have Mikhail, OG, Josh Hart, fucking Precious Achua off the bench who sucks. You can throw all these big wings at 6'7" Cade Cunningham. Who is guarding Cat? Jalen Duren? Isaiah Stewart? It's not happening.
Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah, literally. That's all he's going to do to
Beef
guard him. I
stew.
think it's going to be a really physical series. Would not be surprised if like someone got hurt on either side. Would not be surprised if there was one ejection like a game, honestly. But I think the Pistons will win Game 3 in Little Caesar Superdome, and then it'll just be downhill from there.
Colin Cowherd said today that he thinks there'll be more ejections than wins for the Pistons this series.
That's
I think
actually
they'll get one. I think they'll get one.
Yeah, I
Just
agree.
need 2
I got the
ejections.
Knicks in 5 games. I disagree, though. I think it'll be Game 4. It'll be the classic, we're up 3-0, take the foot off the gas game. I think the Pistons will get one at home. Like, a lot of my themes for this podcast in general, my NBA thinking is you got to go through the wars first, and this is like the Pistons' first year with this core in the playoffs. They're a fun team for sure. Like, I'm sure maybe they'll push the Knicks in like Game 2 or something, and it'll be fun. But I think the Knicks, coming off the last couple of years, I mean, that core of Brunson, Hart, all them guys, like they've been really ready for this, and I think the smoke is just through the roof.
Yeah, I agree. I keep on seeing on Twitter that Cade averages like 35, 9, and 9 or something against the Knicks this season. But say he averages that, who else is scoring? Like I just don't trust the bench at all, or I guess the depth in general either.
Yeah, I mean, I also have Knicks in 5, and when you look at it, like who are the top 5 or 6 best players in this series? There's 5 Knicks and 1 Pacer.
Is Cade one?
Or Piston. No, Cade is not 1.
Yeah, he
Cade's
is.
probably 2B.
Nah.
I'd give that like equalies.
Cat.
You think Jalen Brunson's better than Cat?
No,
Yes.
I'm saying yes.
100%.
Jalen Brunson 1.
1,000%. Jalen's
K2,
more important in this
Cat
series
3.
and to the Knicks and a better player.
So you think
anyways,
they just traded everything for Cat?
No, they
Well,
actually
they
didn't.
traded more
They
for
traded
Mikal.
everything for Mikal.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Has Mikal gotten better or no?
No.
No, he's had a much better second half of the year, but he's definitely drawn a lot of ire from the fan base.
He's He's going back to Phoenix this summer.
He's not. He's playing. When you look at like the actual splits, not just like, oh, they gave up 6 first-round picks for him, and look at the actual player that's played, he's averaging like 18 points per game on 37% shooting from 3. Like that's for your 4th guy in your starting lineup. That's pretty damn good.
His jump shot's so ugly. I think, Colin, I think a lot of the bad noise around Bridges is that he's really bad against the Celtics, and I think that's the matchup problem. But he's been
that was
fine.
one of the only NBA games I watched was that Sunday game a couple months ago, and the Celtics just blew their doors off.
The other thing with this series is like a lot of people are like, oh, the Knicks aren't good because they can't beat the Celtics and the Cavs. But this isn't the Celtics and the Cavs. It's the Pistons.
Yeah, we're going to get to that for sure.
So we're all Knicks in 5 then?
Yeah, clean sweep across the board, Knicks in 5. So, all right, we'll see what the Pistons have to offer.
Are we doing East, all of the East first?
Yeah, we're going conference by conference.
Okay.
So last series.
Did you guys see that this is on ESPNU? This series, it's like Game 3 is on some whack broadcast.
I guess that makes sense of like all the series.
I guess.
Like the Knicks are New York, so you have to put them on something.
Didn't they play first round last year?
Yeah, this is a rematch of last year. Which the Pacers won in 6 or 7, but it was kind of the same case scenario.
3. It was 3-6.
Oh, you're right.
Or 2-7.
Yeah, you're right. It was 3-6.
So, looks like Damian Lillard will not be here, at least at the start of this series. I don't know what that means. I didn't really get clarity at all.
Yeah, he's not playing.
There's no shot.
I didn't get clarity from Sham's tweet at all. I mean, I know he's got the blood clot, same injury as Wemby had to end his season. So, Michael, we'll kick it back to you. I know the Pacers are one of your favorite teams to root for, big with New York fans. So, do you have Giannis kind of soloing this thing, or?
It would be great. But I think this series is a 7-game series. First one of the first round. Actually, No. One of two for the first round that I have. But I'm going to take the Pacers in 7. Giannis is probably going to average 40, 15, and 12 or something crazy like that, but they're not going to be able to defend at a high enough level to play with one of the fastest paced offenses and teams in general in the league. And the Pacers showed last year that they could beat them. So it's probably going to be some sort of revenge situation for the Bucks, but I don't think that outweighs the fact that the Pacers are just better and have been most of the year.
Okay, so you have Pacers in 7.
Pacers in 7.
Interesting. I'll give my pick. I don't think this goes 7. I got the Pacers in 6 games. I think the Pacers have kind of that nice young core. I mean, even last year beating the Bucks alone and then also beating the Knicks, like that's not lost on me in this series. I think the Bucks without Dame, it's just like a classic Giannis team where he's got to do everything. I think this is like an especially weaker Giannis team. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like he doesn't have a lot around him at this point in time.
They traded for Kyle Kuzma mid-year, so that is something that they did.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know. I remember when that trade happened. I mean, it didn't really move many people. I got the Pacers in 6 games. I think Halliburton has proved that he can, be a consistent playmaker, even in the playoffs. Like the Pacers, people forgetting that Celtics series, they gave him a run in like almost every game. So I like this Pacers squad. I think the Bucks without Dame, it's kind of like let's see what happens after the season. They might have to trade off Dame or trade off somebody, make a move. Yeah, I mean, Giannis, people have been like begging for him to ask for a trade for years. So we'll see what happens with the Bucks. I don't know, but I got the Pacers in 6 games. I think them also having home court advantage is huge in this series, even though I have them winning in Milwaukee game 6. But I think last year they were able to win in Milwaukee a couple of times. So I like Indiana this year to advance past the Bucks in 6 games. So, Ali, are you taking the Bucks or are you going with the Pacers and agreeing with the squad?
I'm going Pacers in 6. I agree with you, Colin. And I wrote down a note of the Pacers' quick pace overall will force the Bucks to make like really quick decisions. And outside of Giannis, the team just does not have the talent to like consistently make the right decision on either side of the ball. And I also think Rick Carlisle, not a great coach, but is worlds ahead of Doc Rivers. So I don't know. I think Giannis can will him to probably like a win in game 2 and 3 maybe, but I think after that the Pacers will kind of figure it out and how to stop him.
Yeah, I mean it could be a situation where it's like let Giannis get his and then everyone else will be
throw
okay.
2 at him every time and see what the others can do.
Interesting. Okay, so we all have the top 4 seeds advancing to round 2, but before we get to that, we'll go to our Western Conference, starting off with the Oklahoma City Thunder, the 1 seed in the West. Very impressive year out of them. Once again, I think they were the 1 seed last year. They will face the winner of the second play-in team, which will be the Grizzlies, Kings, or Mavs. I believe we all had the Grizzlies on that, so we all have Thunder versus Grizzlies in this round. Ali, we'll kick it back to you. I've heard a lot of high praise for this Oklahoma City Thunder team. What do you think happens in their first round matchup against the Grizzlies?
I got Thunder in 4. I think whoever the opponent is, they're just too good. But I do think it's going to be interesting to see how teams choose to guard Shea in like a series format rather than just one game. But I don't think it's going to make a difference for this round specifically.
Michael?
Yeah, I'm in full agreement. I don't think that any of the play-in teams, no matter who we choose, would stand a chance. I think they'd all get swept. The Thunder could win every game scoring 80 points probably in this playoffs. Their defense is the best the league has seen in a lot of years. And yeah.
Snapchat friends with Chet.
Yep.
But yeah, Thunder defense, insane. Memphis is not going to know what to do.
No.
I also have the Thunder. I'm a little more bearish on them than you guys are. I got them in 5 games over the Grizzlies. I think Ja can take over a game. I still am a Ja believer. I like the grind mentality of the Grizzlies. I still am questioning if the Thunder have really got it to, I mean, we'll allude to it later.
They already had their first playoff experience last year, which is definitely a big help for them.
You have to go through the wars. Emphasis on the S, wars, which we'll factor later on. But I got him in 5. I think last year, I don't know if the Pelicans took a game off him or not, but I think the Grizzlies with the grind mentality can take a game off him. I do like the Thunder, though. I like their squad besides Chet because he went to Gonzaga. I like Shea. I like Jalen Williams. Dort. I know Dort doesn't play that much, but
Alex Caruso off the bench.
yeah, Caruso's a dog.
Makes,
Iheart, former Nick.
Yep.
True.
Legend in the community. Alex Caruso coming off the bench to guard bench people is criminal.
Yeah,
He's
I don't even know. Scottie Pippen Jr. is
probably one of the best perimeter defenders in the league.
Yeah. All right, so as you both well know, the chat is always with us. So we have our first comment of the night. A very bold prediction coming in from Adam. He says, I'm taking the Grizzlies stunning the Thunder in the first round. Michael, your reaction?
I would like you to wager your hard-earned money on that to happen. And good luck to you.
Well, I forgot. Yeah, we forgot to mention Zach Edey. I don't know if he played.
Oh my God, he was so bad last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a big man. Him and Draymond. I only watched like the first quarter and a half, and they were already getting into it.
He did. I think he had like 16 and 16 or something crazy like that, but his turnovers were ridiculous. But
okay. Family back in the chat. Mark promised to call in later on. He says sub dub, miss dub, and miney. I think
Good
that was
typo, Mark.
Yeah. Mark, I'm sure we'll hear from you later. Excited to hear your call in again. Adam says he wouldn't go that far to bet money, but he is serious about it. So come back for round 2 if there's going to be a lot of egg on your guys' face if the Grizzlies beat the Thunder, man. Just putting it out there now. There's more series to talk about now, though. This is my favorite series on the board, personally. We have Ime Udoka, Dylan Brooks, and the Houston Rockets facing off against the Golden State Warriors. Yes, Draymond as well is involved. So
Draymond is involved.
We'll start with you, Ali. What is your take for Rockets Warriors? We saw Steph Curry gold medal game. I believe he played okay last night. Last night was like a Jimmy Butler game.
Yeah, I sat down for a good 20 minutes today trying to figure out where to go here. I even looked at their matchups, but they have not played each other this season, either healthy or when the Warriors had Jimmy. So it's kind of like, no, there's not really any statistics to like go off of there. I think back to 2022 when I think about this series, and I think about a coach coaching the 2 seed, Ime Udoka, who took on this super team Nets that was scared of everyone, and Ime Udoka swept them. I don't think that's going to happen here, but I have Rockets in 6. I think in a way it's going to be a Sengun Steven Adams series, and Rockets have been running that double big lineup, and it's been really working. And one big thing yesterday was that the Warriors really were struggling on the boards, and I think that's where the Rockets that's where they're gonna win this series, is rebounding on both sides. I think that's gonna be the biggest factor here. And I mean, Draymond is like, I think he's like 6'6", right? Like that, he's not a big like.
He plays bigger than he is though.
But rebounding wise, like you throw in,
he's not a board man.
Not happening.
He's a triple double guy. I don't know why I'm defending Draymond.
Yeah, what?
What is going on?
Wait, hold please.
Oh, are we holding?
Yeah, what? Oh, true. That's not Draymond.
LeBron James.
I'm a big believer in that's not Draymond, bro. Like what?
If you don't have this picture in your house, don't talk to me.
I'm a big believer in Amen Thompson. I think he's not gonna really I think he'll slow down Curry enough to get him like under 25. And Jimmy's like, I don't know if I trust Jimmy that much.
I think they'll have him on Jimmy.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they need someone running around with Steph. I don't know. I'm sure everyone will see time on him. They'll probably switch everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also have Rockets in 6, which is, I originally had Warriors in 6, then I had Warriors in 7, then I went to Rockets in 6. I think if it gets to a game 7, the Warriors win because they have they've done it before. This is the Rockets' first time in the playoffs. But I think they're just a better team. They're more athletic. I think the Warriors struggle with athleticism. And also, like Ali was saying, the double big lineup, even if it's just Sengun. And Edie got 16 boards last night, and he's 7-2 or whatever. But Sengun's much better offensively. And he'll probably not be their focal point of their offense, but he'll be like top 2 in their offense, running their offense through him. And the Rockets, just their athleticism is going to take over the series. Warriors are not a very athletic team, like especially without Kuminga playing. But yeah, I think Rockets in 6. But if it gets to game 7, then Warriors are winning game 7.
I'm actually pretty surprised at both your picks. I thought somebody would take the Warriors. Obviously, if you know anything about me, you know I hate the Warriors more than any team in the NBA. So I took the Rockets in 7 games. Fun fact for you people out there, I think Curry is horrible in late game situations, and he's one of the most unclutch players ever. Yes, I put down my guard to root him on. What is that? Look at the compilation.
What the hell?
Yeah, I put down my guard to watch the Olympics, and I said, you know what? That was a really good performance of Steph Curry. I can appreciate that.
That was pretty clutch, I'd say.
Yeah, it was. But that's FIBA rules, FIBA basketball. Don't worry, we still got our narrative.
Right.
We can still got our narrative. We can push. No, but I do think like Steph gets bailed out a lot. He's talked up a lot. I'm surprised you guys didn't take him. I think the casuals all be hammering the Warriors, but they had to limp into this play-in game. I think they were like, people were talking about if they lost that game last night, they'd be in a lot of trouble because then they had to go to OKC. They'd probably get swept. I don't think this team's that good. I think they're fading. I think the Jimmy acquisition, I kind of forgot that they had Jimmy, to be honest, but that's what makes me think this series will go 7. You have playoff Jimmy. Him and Curry can kind of delegate on who takes over a game potentially late on, but I like the Rockets. Just they're a way better team, and I trust Ime to keep up with Steve Kerr. I mean, we literally saw him keep up with him in that finals performance. So I'm interested to see what they do defensively. I think it'll be a defensive masterclass from Ime. I'm not sure who's the guy in the Rockets that's like, we need a guy to take over right now. Is it Fred VanVleet? Is it Jabari
They don't
Smith?
have one.
Jalen Green?
Think, given the matchup, I think it's probably Jalen Green.
Yeah.
I just
don't have one.
I think that's not one that they're going to game plan for, like the Warriors defense. I don't think they're going to think.
But I also like the idea of the Rockets being like an all-around team where like it doesn't matter who the last shot goes to kind of thing. So I'm hoping the Rockets win in 7. I'm taking the Rockets to win this series. Hopefully they advance. I mean, you guys' picks have made me feel better about that. So before we move on, Adam also says Rockets in 7. So same mindset there. We'll keep it moving. The Los Angeles Lakers, I think this is my second favorite series because I love Anthony Edwards. Lakers, Timberwolves, LeBron and Luka first playoff series together. How did they get to the 3 seed? I feel like that's a crazy story that no one's talking about.
It was like in the past week, like the 3 to 7 were like the Warriors could have been the 4 almost. Like I think those teams, a lot of them are on tiebreakers, like 4 to 6, I think are on tiebreakers.
Yeah. So, I mean, we had the Timberwolves this season. They trade away Cat from last season. They were on the brink of making the NBA Finals. Now it's Gobert, Edwards, and DiVincenzo. Lakers obviously
had a 20-point lead in Game 7.
Yeah,
in the third quarter. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think.
And Julius Randle. Don't forget the GOAT.
Yeah, people actually. Michael, we can. I don't know how deep you want to dive into this, but people on Twitter were, singing the praises of Julius Randle. They were kind of missing him. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
As Knicks fans.
Yeah, a lot of Knicks fans were like, Randle would do this.
I don't know if I'd say a lot of Knicks fans.
People, I don't know. I'm on like a weird algorithm. I don't know.
I think they were more so missing last year's team versus this year's team.
I think it's more of, I don't think it's the player that Julius Randle is. I think it's the energy and the, like, I'm going to fight you if you are.
I'm filming.
Yeah. I mean, I think last year's Knicks team just had a lot more like grit and, Kobe White and one. Yeah, but Julius Randle brought a lot of that, which the Timberwolves do have. They're a feisty team. They got a lot of fighters on their team.
They got scrapped. All right,
Yeah.
so I mean, we have this series.
Was it my turn to pick this game?
No, I can pick it first.
No,
I'm going with the Lakers. Okay, go ahead.
All right, fine.
All right,
Nah,
I'm
you
going with the
already said
Lakers.
you got
I'm going
Lakers.
with the Lakers games. I think Ant can take 2 on his own. I mean, he's built for the playoffs. I just think this, comparing the rosters, I like the Timberwolves. I mean, I like the Lakers roster a lot better than I like the Timberwolves. I think, if we're going for script, Anthony Edwards will have his day in the future, but I think he's still early on in his playoff career. I think this is like his second or third year in the playoffs. Give me LeBron, established, knows what he's doing. JJ Redick, I mean, people aren't really talking about that hire, but it seemed to be like that hire worked out a lot better than Darvin Ham.
Yep.
Darvin Ham even got them to like the second round a couple years ago. I mean, the conference finals a couple years ago. I like this Lakers team in 6 games over the Timberwolves. I do think the Timberwolves can maybe make it a 2-2 series, or it's 3-1 and they win one, something like that. So I got the Lakers in 6 games over the Timberwolves. Michael, you were eager to give your pick. So what do you have for this series, Lakers versus Timberwolves?
Timberwolves in 7.
Whoa.
I think that sorry, I was watching this game.
I'm turning it on right now.
Lakers are going to win. I think they're going to get off to a probably 2-1 series lead, maybe 3-2. But I think Timberwolves come back and win this series. They have, I mean, obviously LeBron and Luka are probably 2 top 7 players in the NBA right now, maybe top 10, depending on how you look at LeBron. But their supporting cast is bad. Their starting center, or their best center option, is Rui Hachimura, who's like 6'8".
Jackson Hayes,
and their
bro.
starting center is
Jackson Hayes.
Get that Gonzaga
starting
BS
center is Jackson Hayes. They play small ball. They love playing small ball. Since they got Luka with Rui at the 5, and I feel like the Timberwolves they're maybe not the best team to match up defensively against the Lakers, but they do have defenders for Luka and LeBron. Julius is going to probably guard LeBron, which is not ideal, but if he's engaged, he's like the right physical build to guard LeBron, and they have a bunch of smaller players that they can throw at Luka. But yeah, I mean, I just don't like the Lakers either.
Why not?
Personal reasons.
Okay. Ali, what say you?
I got Lakers in 6, and I wrote down, well, Mikey was just talking about the Jackson Hayes, Rui Hachimura part of it. So in that case, we're turning to Randall, Naz Reid, and Rudy Gobert to carry in absence of the Lakers big man. 3 people, maybe 1 out of 3. 0.5 out of 3, I trust. I do not trust that.
0.5? Who's the 0.5?
Naz. Randall, hell nah. Gobert.
Yeah, right.
Gobert is not doing anything against Luka. They're going to switch on to him every time, and he's going to be taken off the court. And I think an unsung part of this whole Western Conference Finals that no one really talks about is Jaden McDaniels could not guard Luka, and that's 100% going to be the matchup again. It should be Ant. Maybe Finch will change it around. I don't think he will, though, and I don't think that that's a good matchup at all. I think Luka dominated that. He dominated him when he was one-on-one, dominated him off the pick and roll. I just don't – I think this is a complete, Luka series. But I do see them splitting game 1 and 2, splitting 3 and 4, and then Lakers get 5 and 6. I think it's going to be a good series, though.
Yeah, I think looking at this series, the 3 West series besides the Thunder series are the most interesting. All right, so
Best
me and
series
Ali in agreement on a lot of these picks tonight, so we'll keep moving. Nuggets, Clippers. This one's also intriguing for different reasons. Clippers kind of had a somewhat surprising season. A lot of people counted them out. Nuggets just fired their coach about a week ago, and
Rhode Island native
have the MVP of the league on their team. So I mean, obviously made the second round last year. Won the finals 2 years ago. This is a very complicated back and forth series. We'll go back to you, Ali. What do you say? Nuggets versus Clippers.
So maybe this is a little recency bias. I got Clippers in 7. I think on paper this should be probably the best series of the whole first round. I think mainly the coaching advantage is what makes me lean Clippers. I think Ty Lue is probably the best coach in the league. Why are you laughing? Like, whatever.
The chat. Sorry.
Versus, I don't even know who the is, but what is in the chat? Now I'm nervous.
It's not about you. Go ahead.
Nothing. It's not about you. It's about Mike's betting.
But I think they're going to be able to throw a lot of bodies at Jokic. I think Zubac has been way better than my pick for most improved this year. I think that's an interesting matchup. But I think, again, kind of like what we said for the Pacers Bucks series, you let Jokic / Giannis get his and then see what the rest can do. And I picked the Clippers depth over the Nuggets.
All right, well, I'm going to oppose you, but I have the same amount of games. I got the Nuggets in 7 games. I just think the playoff experience, I mean, especially last year, I'm like, okay, the Clippers are going to beat or actually I had the Mavericks making the finals, but the Clippers are going to like do really well this game 1. I think I bet on them. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, Kawhi's not going to play for 2 weeks. So I'm not trusting this Clippers team anymore until I know that I have a healthy Kawhi Leonard. I still won't be convinced that I do until I actually see it. I got the Nuggets in 7 games. They have the best player on the court. I don't mind the new coaching stuff. Feel like, Ty Lue won a championship. I mean, it was different because he was fired in December, or David Blau was fired in December. But I think of all the major sports, NBA coaches do the least. Maybe hot take, I don't know, but
yeah,
probably baseball.
Baseball. They have to pull guys, and the management, they actually have to, I don't know. I got the Nuggets in 7.
NBA, they're doing rotations all the time in the NBA.
Those aren't them though. It's their other guys.
You don't think they don't approve it? Put the stamp of approval on it?
I mean,
you're a
I don't know. Okay, maybe I'm.
I don't know. I'm gonna be very aggressive here and go Clippers in 5. Since January, they were a top 5 team in the NBA, and Kawhi's come back and looked like Kawhi.
Oh my God, I cannot get this game to load. I don't even care.
On the streaming service that you told me to use.
Which one?
It's loading right here.
Don't say. Put it in the chat.
Don't talk about it. We're not.
What is it? The F one?
No.
Okay, give your pick, Michael, or continue giving your analysis.
Yeah, I got Clippers in 5. Who's gonna guard James Harden, who is probably gonna make an All NBA team this year?
Michael Porter Jr.
MPJ, please.
Michael. Zubac's probably gonna not make a 3rd team All NBA, but he does make a very good candidacy for it. And if Kawhi's Kawhi, like even 80% of who Kawhi is, that they're just like a much better all-around team. Obviously, Jokic is the MVP of the league and the best player and has been for 5 years. I do put a little bit more stock in the head coaching stuff. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Wait, what did he say?
Jokic has been the best player in the league for 5 years.
Best player in the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got someone in like Brazil who you're taking over on?
You haven't seen the players in Zimbabwe, dude. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah. That's my pick of this series here. I think the Nuggets, since I don't even know when the cutoff is, but like February, maybe end of February, March, they've been like a bottom 3rd of the league in defense, and the Clippers have been a top 5 defense in the same time. Like the Nuggets can't figure out anything on defense. They're fired their defensive-minded coach to promote their offensive-minded assistant coach to their head coaching position, and their defense obviously hasn't gotten any better. They were having talks about how none of their players would buy into the head coach and all that sort of stuff. Like they've just got a lot of stuff going on, and could be a Jokic watch for the offseason.
He's coming to Boston in that case. Oh my God, I can't wait.
Hi,
JB, have fun in Denver with Russ.
Okay, so 1st round picks are complete.
Yeah, also Russell Westbrook is your 6th man.
Yeah, Colin, you really picked a team with fucking Russell Westbrook.
All right, we'll see who's smiling in a couple weeks, guys. All right, catching up with the chat. Mark had this to say about the Lakers. Sneaky pick to make out of the West. You'll have to stay tuned for later on. Mark also says Jokic is not the MVP triggered. This is what made me laugh. I don't like. Is this even debatable at this point? He's probably, what is he, like, minus
Mark
a lot?
has
Wait,
two separate parlays with.
Wait, I'll pull up the voting
SGA.
right now. I got the
SGA was minus 3,000 or something at like.
Shay's got 12 points on him, so Shay's winning.
What?
I have the tracker up right now.
Oh, people are saying their votes?
Yeah, and then someone put on a spreadsheet. Shay's got 104.
Zach Lowe's voting for
Jokic got 92.
Jokic, though, so.
Okay.
Bill Simmons is voting Jokic too, but I don't think he's
All right,
sent
the
it.
two most important ball knowers. Nicholas Sisson has rejoined us. He has this to say about your pick of the Clippers in 5. Mikey with a pick only a non-ball knower would have. Your response?
I would like to know how many Clippers games one Nicholas Sisson has watched this year.
How many have you watched?
At least 5.
Okay.
Probably more than all.
He says the only thing you're right about is your MVP pick, which was Jokic. So a little back and forth in the chat here. It seems like there's, contrasting sides going on here. Because Mark has this to say, Dub knows literally zero ball. Debatable. And Mikey uses Chat GBT for all his ball comments. I did hear some typing earlier.
Yeah, I was pulling up the friggin' 9-10 play-in game.
Respect. Our own streamer, this is when you know you're having a great live stream, is commenting in the chat. I'm the only one that knows ball here. Okay.
I've been watching year round. Like, I'm here.
That's amazing. Eastern Conference semifinals. So for the East, it'll be easy. We all had the same series. We all have Cavs versus the Pacers. So Michael, we'll cut back to you. What do you say about Cavs versus the Bucks? Cavs versus the Pacers in round 2.
Yeah. I'm probably less bullish on the Cavs as a lot of people, but they are one of probably the top. They are the 3rd best team in the league, in my opinion. And it's like the top 3 and then an empty category and then everyone else. So I got Cavs in 6. And I mean, the Pacers do run it. They're a good team. I mean, I'm not going to hold it against them that they played a bunch of injured teams last year and somehow got to the Eastern Conference Finals, but they're going to lose in 6 to the Cavs.
Okay. Ali?
I got, before I say my pick, I love the state of Ohio. Cincinnati's better than Cleveland. Columbus is better than Cleveland. I got Pacers in 6. I see a disaster Darius Garland and Jarrett Allen series. Lights are too bright. I think
Lights are too bright, and that's only New York. Come on, lights are bright in New York.
Maybe. Hey,
yeah, what lights are on in Ohio? They turn them off. Do they even have lights in Ohio?
That's why they're going to lose.
I don't think they do.
No. But I just think the Pacers have kind of a better play style for playoff basketball. And I think the Cavs kind of have not made it out of – they're kind of still in a hole, I feel like, and they're missing a few pieces still.
Okay. I disagree with you, Ali. I agree with Mikey, but I don't agree on the amount of games. I think this will be a back-and-forth war. Midwest basketball. Honestly, this series might end up on NBA TV of the second-round series. But I got the Cavs in 7 games over the Pacers. I just think this season has been too good for the Cavs to go out second round. It'd be too much of a heartbreak. I think people have been kind of penciling in the Cavs, Celtics conference finals. So it'll be a disappointment if we don't get that series just because of the back and forth banter. So I like the Cavs. I mean, Donovan Mitchell, I think, is the most clutch player in this series. If I'm trusting him or Halliburton with the ball, I'm trusting Donovan Mitchell. A lot of those Cavs guys have played a lot better. I think the Pacers are a problem, which is why I'm saying they can push this to 7, but I got the Cavs in 7 games over the Pacers. So we'll move on in just a second. just a clarification from the March Madness. Did Mark ever pay you for the bracket group, or did he just steal the money from me? He did pay me, so we were correct. There was one person who entered the bracket group named
Guess where that money went?
C.Erp. I don't know who that was. Another unfortunate year where I picked the correct winner but didn't get paid. Guess I should have had more chalk.
This is like the second time I've won your thing in the past 3 years.
I know. Well, me, you, and Mason have won like 4 of the last 5 years. Okay. Sorry, I jumped ahead. Eastern Conference semifinals. This will be a contentious back and forth because we have a New York Knicks fan on the right, 2 Celtics fans on the left. Michael, the door is open. Do you want to go first or do you want to go last on this series?
I'll go first. I got Celtics in 6.
Okay. Your reasoning?
My reasoning is that they'll win the series because they're the better all-around team. But Knicks will get 2 on them, probably game 3, maybe game 5 in Boston.
Closeout game, potentially, in your scenario.
But, I mean, they're not built as they are right now. They're not the best matchup for the Celtics. They got 2 people that you can pick on defense, and Cat and JB, and the Celtics are the best team at hunting defenders. Their offense is built around hunting poor defenders, and it's tough when you got 2 of them on the court at the same time. But I think a lot of people, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like you'll probably say Celtics in 5 or something like that. I think they give the Knicks not enough credit for how good they've played this season. Obviously, their games against the Celtics have not looked great, except for the last one where they should have won, except Jason Tatum hit a 3 at the buzzer. And then they just folded in overtime. But I think they can learn a lot from that game and the previous games. And they've been playing a lot better against the higher competition since they've become healthy. And, yeah, I think hopefully if they make it this far and are healthy at this point, they'll be able to put up a series. But I still have Celtics in 6.
Ali, you gave Mikey a little bit of a...
Yeah, that was – I mean, you said you guys are probably going to have Celtics in 5, and I do have Celtics in 5. But a lot of it, we saw the regular season, how the matchups went. Tatum loves playing in the Garden. I think, Jaylen Brown just got those cortisol shots or whatever. He's going to be good. KP, revenge series.
Like 5th of the year.
What?
5th of the year, he said. Okay.
That's the finals MVP you're talking about. But I think it's Celtics in 5. I think they'll blow like game 2. Honestly, I love picking the Celtics to blow game 2 because that's what they did last year, and it just seems very like them to take their foot off the gas after a good game 1 win. But I don't really have much to say about this. But I think too, if the Pistons and Knicks is kind of like as a chippy series as we think it might be, then hopefully it's a healthy Knicks team. But maybe some people are a little hobbled or playing at like 80% maybe. I think that could be a big factor.
Yeah, I think
the Magic and the Celtics.
Yeah, I think the Celtics said the same thing about that.
No.
It's just gonna be like fun basketball.
The Magic are like one of the most physical
Orlando
teams
Magic.
in the league.
Play that song.
We won't play that song due to copyright reasons.
You guys need to look it up after this. I swear it's real.
I believe it, but I don't know if we can play that due to copyright. And maybe a shocking turn of events. I'm actually in agreement with Mikey. I got the Celtics in 6 games. Now, I feel like last year I kind of predicted the Celtics in these weird spots to like kind of blow games and over-predicted their games. I think I could be doing the same thing this year, but I think this kind of just makes sense as like maybe one of the Celtics play one in game 1, so maybe game 2 it's like the Knicks surprise them in TD, and then the Celtics come back strong in New York, but then back in Boston the Knicks win again, and the Celtics are like, fuck this, and they win by 30 in New York. That's what I'm thinking for this series. I'm hoping this series doesn't even happen, even though I think it's pretty likely that it will, just due to the tournament I'll face if the Knicks win 1 game. I'm like, so that's not you, Mikey, at all, but my other friends from Syracuse, like I can't deal with the Knicks or the Yankees or the Giants ever being good in my life. I don't know how I'm going to deal with it if it ever happens. So I hope the Celtics extinguish them, sweep this somehow. I don't have faith in that. I think the Knicks will win at least 1 game. I got them winning 2 games. I think that'll just be like a torture chamber for me. But I don't know. I like the Knicks team. I always have like this Knicks team. Like I think they play hard-nosed basketball. Josh Hart, like that's you can be a heart and soul of a team. I love that for them. Jalen Brunson, like it's hard to hate this Knicks team. It's like it's the Celtics, Boston versus New York type thing, but it's like I have no ill will in my heart towards the Knicks. You know, I'd understand if you don't like the Celtics because you're surrounded, you're in the chamber or whatever, and there's a lot of people around. I know people think that way, but I like the Knicks, and I hope they do well in the future. It just happens to be like this is the Celtics' peak of like existing. So I think this is like I think the Celtics, you know, we'll get to it later, but I think they win this in 6 games. Might be a wake up call for their next series where they have to face the Cavs. And well, 2 of our books because Ali picked the Pacers. But so that wraps up the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
Celtics
What do you think
advancing for all
happens this offseason? Wait a minute.
What?
What's happening in the offseason?
What does it matter? So far in all of our books, we're advancing to Eastern Conference Finals.
All right, fine.
We'll get to it if the Celtics lose.
You talking about JB gone?
Back to the West.
Drew, JB.
So this one will be a little bit different. So I was the only one who picked the Nuggets to face off against the Thunder. I'll start this one out. I got the Thunder in 6 games over the Denver Nuggets. I still think the Nuggets pulled 2. I'm just like fading this Thunder team. I don't know. I think they haven't been through the wars yet. I do think this will be a challenging series. Like the Nuggets just won a championship 2 years ago. I know last year was bad, but I think they can like – there's something to be said. I mean, we talked about an NFL pod when you fire a coach. There's like that next week. I think the NBA can kind of carry over for a couple weeks. I think the Nuggets will keep this a series. I got the Thunder beating the Nuggets in 6 games. Now you guys both have the Clippers advancing.
You think he's guarding Jokic?
No.
No.
Wait, wouldn't that deflate your point? First of all, you guys have the Nuggets out. So what are you even saying guarding Jokic?
I'm saying for your point of Thunder in 6, who's guarding Jokic?
Jokic, it's the case scenario of Jokic is going to have 35, 10, and 5, and 10.
All right,
and they're going to lose by 20.
He's literally going to have 35, 10, 10, 5, and like 3, and they're going to lose by 15. But some nights they're going to win because they'll be in Denver. Altitude's a factor as well, basketball, endurance game. So that's just my opinion because I have the Nuggets. But Michael, will go to you because you were very high in this Clippers team. You have them beating the Nuggets in 5 games. So do you think they give the Thunder the best team overall a run for their money? Or are you taking the best record in the NBA?
I think it's Thunder in 5.
Yeah, Nick, I'm a
Thunder in 5.
No.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to read that comment, but we'll get to it after. Go ahead.
Thunder in 5. I really hope that Kawhi doesn't get hurt, but trusting him for, 7 playoff games is aggressive. So Thunder in 5, I think they're the best team in the league, better than the Cavs, better than the Celtics. And they have the defenders to defend any style of offense that you can throw at them. And even though the Clippers are like very pick and roll, James Harden lobs and floater dominant, they still have Kawhi. They can get offense other ways, but the Thunder have every defender imaginable. You could make an all-defensive team just by Thunder players. Thunder in 5.
I'm just pulling out my notes. Is it my turn?
The Thunder have an all-defensive player coming off the bench. Like they'll just do whatever they want.
So do the Clippers and Chris Dunn, Providence legend.
Shout out Rhode Island. Shout out Chris Dunn. Allie?
I got Thunder in 7, and I think I watched that matchup when they last played when both teams were really healthy. Or I think the Thunder were missing Chet, maybe. But whatever. I don't think he's going to be a factor in this series anyways. But there was a lot of different like defensive schemes thrown at Shea that clearly worked, and it was kind of put onto J-Dub to backpack. And I just don't think he's there yet. I think he will be there in like maybe 2 or 3 years. But as a number 2, I don't think the Thunder really have one, and I think the Clippers are a team that will be able to kind of factor away Shea, I guess, is a way of putting it. But I still think that the talent that they have from literally player 1 to 12 is way better than the Clippers' depth overall. And I just think talent at some point will just win them the series, especially at Game 7 in OKC. I think OKC is kind of an underrated place to play, and I think those fans are really loud. So I kind of like this series too. I like a lot of these Clippers hypothetical, or I just like the Clippers in general. I think they're going to be a really good team in this playoffs, but this hypothetical series I think would be really good.
Okay. So we'll move on. All of us had the Rockets advancing. Michael, you had the Timberwolves advancing over the Lakers. Ali and I had the Lakers advancing. So we'll start with you, Michael. Lone man taking the Timberwolves. What's your pick for Timberwolves versus Rockets?
Yeah, I picked this game. I didn't pick it how many games, so I'm doing that now.
Jesus Christ,
Rockets,
Miami's at
Timberwolves.
39-25 at the end of the first.
Yeah, they're hitting everything. They got
That's
Alec
crazy.
Burks starting in this game, which is crazy. I'm taking the Timberwolves going to the Western Conference Finals in 6 games over the Rockets. I think that the Rockets will flame out. They're a very young team. They're one of the youngest teams, if not the youngest team in the league. They don't have a lot of playoff experience unless you count Fred VanVleet, who has been hurt most of the year, and Dylan Brooks, I guess. But who counts Dylan Brooks?
Go. Shout out.
And Timberwolves were there last year. They kept a lot of their same team. Obviously, they got rid of Cat, but they got 2 guys who had been through it in the playoffs before. I think that'll carry them through this series, the playoff experience.
Okay, so, I mean, you have 2 sides of the coin here. We have the Timberwolves out first round. You have them headed to the Western Conference Finals. Ali, what say you with the Lakers versus the Rockets?
I got Lakers in 5 here, and I think this is where the Rockets really start to show some inexperience. And I think specifically JJ Redick will be able to kind of really highlight how the Rockets don't really have a go-to offensive player, how it's kind of they all have a bunch of 2s and 3s, not really a 1. And I think they're just they could literally sit in a zone and probably win like decent. I don't know. I just think too many struggles for the Rockets offense as well as inexperience. I think they just kind of get, I think it's going to be like a close 5-game series. Like they'll win game 3 or 4 in LA or something, but I just don't think they're going to get past the Lakers in this scenario.
Yeah, I have the same sort of mindset. I'm giving them one more game though, due to my love for this Rockets team. I think the Rockets are who I'm just rooting for openly in the West. I know it's kind of a pipe dream, but I got the Lakers in 6 over the Rockets. I am Team LeBron versus Jordan. I know that's kind of rare for a Celtics fan to be Team LeBron, but I don't know. I'm hoping. I don't know. Well, I'm not hoping he gets a ring because we'll see. But I mean, I don't know. I think that. You guys have kind of spoken to it. I mean, we all have the Rockets losing this round. They can kind of pull off the Warriors, kind of almost put the Warriors in their tombstone of like being like this era is kind of over for them. And then after that, you're facing off against LeBron, Luka, like 2 of the top 10 players in the NBA. So I don't know. I think there's too much star power here. I mean, Luka ultimately is Luka and LeBron are better than anyone the Rockets have. The Rockets don't have anyone to give the ball to. I'm going Lakers in 6 games. I think the Rockets can maybe pull the 2 at home. Maybe we got a 2-2 series, and then the Lakers are like, all right, enough with this. Turn the water off and win those last 2 games. So I got the Lakers in 6. So we all have the Thunder. Oh, wait, no. Mikey has we all have the Thunder. And then Mikey has the Timberwolves. Ali and I have the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. Back to the East, though, where me and Mikey have the Cavs versus the Celtics, and then Ali has the Pacers versus the Celtics. So Ali, we'll kick it back to you.
Right.
With the Pacers, what do you got for this game or for this series?
I got Celtics in 5. I think the Pacers finally don't collapse like they did last year in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I think also a healthy Halliburton, but also Porzingis for the Celtics too. I think it's kind of a different game. Fully expect Andrew Nembhard to have some devil magic bullshit again. Aaron Nesmith is probably going to think this is a revenge series or some shit, but I could totally see him winning like game 3 in Indiana, which is underrated place to play for sure. That building gets loud, but I actually like this Pacers team. Like I honestly think maybe Halliburton isn't a 1, but I think he's like a top. He's probably the 4th best point guard and maybe even 3rd best point guard in the league. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't think that they have enough really to get past the Celtics. I could even see the Celtics winning this without like Jaylen Brown or without Kristaps. I think Tatum is just too much for them.
So you have Celtics in
5.
Okay, I can see that. They won in 4 last year, so Pacers got a game this year. My pick for this series, well, we have the Cavs. I like the Celtics in 6 games over the Cavs. I do think there's 2 games where the Cavs have that moment of, we've been talking about them all year, have a great record. Maybe it's in Cleveland. Maybe they win a game 2, then the Celtics win game 3, then the Cavs win game 4 type thing, then the Celtics win the last 2 games. I mean, Donovan Mitchell, they won a game against us last year. This team's seemingly a little bit better. Same team, new chemistry.
I can't do it, Celtics Cavs. I can't do it. It's going to be so toxic.
That's what New York Celtics is for me.
Every single one of my friends' boyfriends, I tried to make them bet like $5,000 for the game in January where the Celtics were up like 20-3, and then the Celtics ended up losing. So good thing no one took me up on that, but I can't do it. I'll lose my
What
home.
are the splits like for Celtics Cavs?
Oh, you want me to check? Because you guys can't.
Michael?
I don't think it's actually up yet. I think they just have
I'm saying like the splits for what the
2-2.
2-2. Okay.
I'll check the FanDuel while we're here,
the
though.
Celtics in 6 games. I can check FanDuel. I just can't bet on it. Michael, your pick, Cavs versus Celtics. Do you think this goes longer than I said, shorter than I said, or the exact same distance? Or do you have the Cavs?
I don't even remember what you said, so I'm going to go with Celtics in 6.
Had the
Is that
same
what
thing.
you said?
Yeah.
All right. Maybe I'll go Celtics in 7 then. No, we'll keep it in 6. Honestly, I don't know. Obviously, the Cavs are the number 1 seed. They won 7 more games, maybe. I don't know actually how many games. 3. Got close at the end when nobody cared. Don't talk to me, Mark.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Celtics in 6. Cavs are a great team. They've won a crazy number of games, especially early in the year. I think they started like something crazy, like 14-1 or something like that.
Just so there's that streak to the Celtics.
Did they?
Yep.
They made. I liked their deadline moves, getting DeAndre Hunter, getting rid of Karis LeVert, addition by subtraction. But yeah, I mean, the Celtics, if they're healthy, we saw them beat everyone last year without Kristaps. But even if they're not healthy, even if they are healthy, especially if they're healthy, I think they beat the Cavs in a 7-game series probably 70% of the time if they ran it a bunch of times. But I mean, I don't know. I give a lot of credit to the Cavs, even though they're not they're obviously a flawed team because they have Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland on the defensive end, neither of which are plus defenders. Some would probably say they're both minus defenders, but in the playoffs, I feel like it's harder to target guys that aggressively. But yeah, I mean, they're not a great matchup for the Celtics because of the fact that they have Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, and they're not the biggest team. Like DeAndre Hunter is a good defender, but is he really going to match up well against Celtics wings?
I also, in a hypothetical
and
Cavs,
also Max Strus.
Mid. I think too, if you look at like a playoff lineup, especially Eastern Conference Finals, if that's what we're talking here for the Cavs, they're probably cutting that lineup to like 7 or 8. So then you're talking Ty Jerome probably is getting like maybe 5 minutes a game. And I think he's been part of the reason why they're really good is that whole bench unit. I don't know. I obviously have the Pacers, but in this scenario, I don't see a world where the Cavs beat them yet. I think, like I said earlier, they're 1 or 2 pieces away. And it's probably another wing defender off the bench that can kind of slow someone down, but they don't have that. So,
yeah.
Okay. So Michael, just
are we saying our Eastern Conference Finals pick? MVP pick.
I mean, if you want.
Tatum.
Wait, before Michael, we need to be clerical. 6 or 7
Tatum.
games for the Celtics. 6. Okay. So, I mean, I don't really care about who wins the Eastern Conference Final. I forgot that was a thing before. MVP, I forgot that was even a thing before you said it. Michael, any insight into that?
Kristaps Porzingis.
There you go. Love it. So we missed this comment earlier. I kept forgetting to show it. Nick Sisson says, Ali keeps saying names I've never heard of. Confirmed ball knower. I would say she definitely knows more than me about the NBA.
I texted Catherine to get in here, and she didn't, so whatever.
It's all good. Mark says, let's hear about some features or player props that y'all like. So any game, we'll give one pick each maybe. Anything that sticks out on you if you have a pick. I'm going with this for my pick.
I got one.
It's out of the box. It's unorthodox. I failed at betting NBA. I bet the Hawks last night. Here's my pick. 2026 NBA champions, Oklahoma City Thunder. That's on my futures list. Maybe I'll reveal the futures list at a later point in time. But I'm taking the Thunder to win the 2026 NBA Finals. I think they're going to be due next year. This year, I don't really know. But I got the Thunder in 2026. So if you guys want to ride, I'll be taking that as soon as it opens, as soon as the market opens. Michael, you said you had a pick?
Yeah. Game 1, Knicks Pistons, Cat over whatever number of threes it is. Jaren Duran out on the perimeter playing drop defense against
Jalen, bro.
Is it? Whatever. Yes. Or Isaiah Stewart, either one of them, doesn't matter. Neither of them can switch on to Cat or play Cat on the perimeter. They're both going to be very focused on JB coming down the lane, and Cat's going to be wide open for a million threes the entire day.
You're looking at over 1.5. I'm seeing on Reliable Fliff.
Easy. He's going to hit 5. Now he won't hit 5.
125 for our bettors out there. Ali, any picks or?
In Houston, Golden State, I would take Sengun's over on rebounds every game.
Every game. Okay, so there's a
good
future for 2026.
Playing like
game
12
1
minutes.
pick for you and a series pick.
2026 future, I got Ron Harper, Rookie of the Year.
There you go. Some comments to address. You know, the brother rivalry is always existing on this podcast. Mikey is not locked in. He already responded to this, but anything further to say?
There's a wonderful basketball game on right to my left, and I'm watching it.
Be professional, Michael. Come on. I mean, you don't even need to say that for the viewers. At least pretend like you're interested in what's going on. Okay. So we all have the Celtics advancing to the finals. Let's see who we have in the West. So I think me and Ali have the Lakers versus the Thunder, and then Mikey has the Timberwolves versus the Thunder. So Michael, we'll kick it to you. Is Anthony Edwards going to be playing against the Boston Celtics in NBA Finals, or will it be what everyone is kind of choosing in the Thunder versus Celtics in the Finals? What do you got?
Yeah, it's going to be Thunder in 6.
Whoa. We're picking Thunder. Oh, Thunder in 6. Okay. I thought you meant over. Okay, go
ahead. Whoa. No, I didn't actually pick my finals pick yet. Yeah, Thunder in 6. Timberwolves will put up a good fight. They were there last year. They got to Game 7 up 20, and they couldn't pull through. But they're not playing the Mavs, who were a very flawed team last year. They're playing the Thunder, which are still a flawed team, only slightly on the offensive end. And the Timberwolves have not been a great defense. They do have good defenders on their team, but team defense are not too great. So the Thunder will definitely take advantage. And I feel like this is a series for Anthony Edwards to try and go off and try very hard to be the best player in the series. And he's going to be going up against like 2 or 3 of the best one-on-one defenders in the league. And it's going to be
he's going to get put in a door chamber.
Yeah.
Door chamber. All right, so Celtics Thunder Finals for Mikey. Ali, what about you? I mean, there's a potential for also a Thunder Celtics Finals, or do you have the Lakers?
So I actually wrote a lot of notes about this. So okay. I have the Lakers in 6 here, which is a little crazy. But I think reason A, this is what the league wants. Cam fan in the chat, like, wow. The league wants Lakers Celtics. Easy. Number 2, I think, as I was mentioning earlier, I think J-Dub and Chet are not there yet as a number 2, either of them, respectfully. And I think JJ has really gotten the Lakers defense to be pretty good. And I don't know, you put DFS on him maybe and on Shea, and you force the rest to beat all these big wings who, yeah, maybe not a big, but I don't think Chet's going to be in the post like that. So I don't know. I don't know. I just kind of think the Lakers get it done at home. I think this is a big LeBron series because Dort will have Luka as the matchup. And I honestly, in this scenario, I don't even know who would guard LeBron either. I think you would probably have to put J-Dub on him. I don't know if I trust that either. So I got LeBron, Western Conference Finals, Lakers in 6.
Okay, so I also have the Lakers versus the Thunder.
You're
I think
crazy.
I think what's written in the stars will be written in a game 7. It's coming down to the wire. I got my GOAT, LeBron James, advancing to the finals as well. I got Lakers Celtics. I mean, classic rivalry. What's better to bring up ratings than trading one of the most international superstars
literally.
to the Los Angeles Lakers and then make the finals against the team that he lost to last season? I think NBA rigged. I know Mark just commented on in the chat. I think the NBA is easier to rig than the NFL. I like the Lakers versus the Celtics as our finals matchup. I think, this Lakers team has gotten hot at the right time. JJ Redick, amazing first-year coach, knows ball, confirmed ball knower, podcaster. I like this. I mean, like I said, it's hard for me to not like the Lakers because I like LeBron and I like JJ Redick, and I still like Luka, even though there was a lot of back and forth. I got the Celtics versus the Lakers, so 2 differing final matchups here, but 2 of the 3 of us have Celtics versus Lakers. Michael has the 1 seeds facing off Thunder versus Celtics. So Cam Fan has joined us in the chat. Michael, he calls your pick square of Thunder versus Celtics. Your response?
What does that mean? Square.
Like
the people
basic.
know.
Oh.
People know.
The people know.
I mean,
okay.
They're the best 2 teams in the league. So NBA, I feel like, is it's a team sport. Can't be carried by one guy. We saw that with the Mavs last year. Couldn't get all the way.
Okay. Also, compliments from frequent guests. He says Ali knows.
Yep.
Okay. Mark with his NBA rigged comment. Anything anyone wanted to address on that before we head to our finals predictions?
I would say, like Colin said, it's easier to rig, but I don't think that they're making a call with 3 minutes left in the game to the refs being like, give this game to team X. I think it's just more so they kind of have an idea of what matchups they'd like in the finals for TV ratings. And Adam Silver has been going on talking all this bullshit about the ratings being down and blah, 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 and the All-Star game sucked.
Yeah, and then
the
they
Lakers
put the game on friggin' whatever, ESPNU.
I know, it was 3 hours long too. I know, but I don't know. I just think this is what the league wants, and I kind of I honestly don't think that the Lakers are that's not the Thunder are not a great. I don't know. I think that's a good matchup, than maybe a better matchup than people would think on paper. I think Luka and LeBron are a lot to handle for the Thunder.
Who's guarding SGA?
DFS.
Yeah, that's a good matchup for the Thunder then.
Who's guarding Luka?
Yeah, who's guarding Lou? Who's guarding LeBron? J-Dub. J-Dub's out here on a Finsta
LeBron's a spot up shooter at this point in his career.
Okay. We will not tolerate this disrespect. Cam Fain says, I think it's a lot harder to rig, by the way.
After last night's game with all those reviews, I think that was just last night was some of the worst reffing I've ever seen.
Okay.
But I don't think it was necessarily rigged. I just think it's the refs just suck.
Headed to our NBA finals.
If the league is going to change anything about their reffing or their challenges, it's got to be if you win all your challenges, you keep getting challenges.
So
if you win your first 2, then you get another one.
Well, it is if you win your first one, you get another one.
I know, but then you can't use the second one. until the end of the game then, because you don't get it back if you win. Also, all the stupid like out of bounds plays where it's like obviously out of bounds on one guy and they give it to the other team and then all the players are like, "Whoa!" and then they change it. Like that's so stupid. I hate when they do that.
I don't even know what we're talking about right now.
Do this. If I have to see that, I'm going to see this so many times.
Luka against the Thunder.
I can't. Okay, it's time. NBA Finals are here.
I'll go first here.
Well, we're gonna go to Mikey first, but we can go to Mikey because he's only has the one who has Thunder versus Celtics.
All right,
Michael.
No, I'm gonna go last because I haven't made a pick yet.
All right, Ali, you wanted to lead us off courageously. Give us your pick.
I got Boston in 4. Clean sweep. Bring the brooms out. It's coming. I'm going to that parade. I'll be in Boston this time next year, and I'm gonna see Jason Tatum out in the streets, and I'm gonna be like, that's my finals MVP right there. Except if it is the case that it's Lakers Celtics, I think Jaylen Brown gets finals MVP again because he'll lock Luka up.
And Tatum will be thinking about how he wants to play for the Lakers in the future.
Oh my God, stop this. But I'm being serious. I actually have the Celtics in 4. I don't think that the Lakers have a single answer for.
Did you have one sweep throughout the entire playoffs, and then you? Okay.
Wait, no, I did have the Thunder sweeping forever in the first round.
Okay.
But I'm being serious. I think I was home, Colin, when that recent Celtics Lakers game was, and I watched it with Dad, and they just dominated every single. Jaylen Brown locks up Luka. I think he's the best Luka defender in the league. I'm really being serious. No bias. Watch the tape. But I just don't think that they have. Sure, you get rid of someone with Dorian Finney-Smith. I don't think LeBron's capable of guarding a young Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum. And I also don't think Luka is good in Boston. I think he plays bad in Boston. I mean, even if it's not Celtics in 4, I think it'll be Celtics in 5. Then I don't think that the Lakers are much of a threat to them.
Okay. Well, I think it's going to go to 6 games. I mean, even last year you had the Mavericks taking a game off the Celtics. I know it's kind of your classic game 4 winning at home bullshit, but LeBron ain't going out like no bitch, to be honest. So I think he'll push it to 6 games. I mean, he'll be, 4-8 in the finals at that point. I don't know. I think this will be a somewhat contested series. Maybe like the Lakers pull a Celtics in the Warriors series a couple years ago, win game 1 on like this crazy shooting performance. Everyone's like, holy shit, the Lakers figured out how to beat the Celtics. And then the Celtics just win like 3 games in a row. Lakers win game. I mean, I guess not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the Celtics in 6 return back to back. I just think I don't trust the Thunder team to make it through the wars. I think this Lakers team, I don't think they're as good as the Celtics. I think the Celtics are clear and above the best team in the NBA. So, I mean, last year I correctly predicted the Celtics over the Mavs in the finals. No biggie.
Same.
So we'll see what happens this year. I'm somewhat confident in this pick, but of course the Lakers could lose first round like Michael had. But I got the Celtics in 6 games over the Lakers. I will say, callers out there, now's your time before Michael gives his pick. But if not, we'll end this shortly. Before that, we need Michael's finals pick. He has the 2 of the 3 best records in the NBA. Thunder. A lot of people out there are high on the Thunder. So what do you say? This the year for Shai to get his first ring, or do you have the Celtics going back to back? SGA. Shai T.
In case anyone's wondering, the Heat are up 60-37 right now.
Oh my God,
yeah, that's
awful. I'm not betting the NBA. I think it's just not in the cards.
I'm
Michael.
done. I'm gonna probably spend $100 on FanDuel in the next week, and then once I move out of Ohio, I really need to delete that app.
Michael, we have a guest in the wings calling in, so give us your pick.
The people are calling.
There's a caller in the chat.
I'm taking the Thunder in 6 games, and I will not explain.
All right.
No. I mean, I don't think when was the last repeat champion in the NBA? The Lakers?
Warriors in 2016?
Yeah.
2015?
No, it was after
Well,
that.
it doesn't happen often, and it's not going to happen this year.
Okay.
Often, as if it's not in the past decade.
I mean, the NBA is kind of built on dynasties, but you have the world players coming in and also more parity. But so I understand your point. So you think Thunder in 6 games? Any matchups, or just kind of like getting the Celtics to repeat?
I mean, I think it's interesting that Jaylen Brown's not healthy, which could be a big part of this series and the playoffs in general. I don't know if either of you watched the Celtics Knicks game from the other day, but he played 20-something minutes, and in his minutes, he couldn't barely move side to side. If that happens in this playoffs and he doesn't like figure it out and get shot up in the knee and whatever he's doing, it'll not be good for them. But yeah, I mean, the Thunder, I feel like, are the best team in the league. And Mark, your mic is being annoying.
Am I in?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
in.
Nice. Is it still bad?
No.
It's fine.
What?
Michael, finish your thoughts. Sorry, I brought him
No,
in
you're good.
prematurely.
No, I mean, I don't know. I think it's maybe not the Thunder's time this year, but I'm not going to pick the Celtics. And yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's just pure hatred. I respect it. All right. So our finals picks are in. We have someone from the chat who's heard a lot of what we had to say tonight. I'm sure he's got some thoughts. Most frequent caller. Some could say #1 Dubcast live stream fan. It's Mark. He's rejoined us.
Some would
time,
say.
so it's nice to hear you coming in for the NBA streams. I didn't know you were really invested in the NBA. So what do you have for us tonight?
First of all, definitely #1 Dubcast fan, or call-in person, or commenter. But I would call myself a casual in the NBA. I know the Celtics. Do I know like the Rockets? No, I haven't watched a single second of the Rockets all year. But I have some things. So for
Your Focus
I'm not
5?
gonna go, what?
No,
You
that's
got your Focus 5?
those are banned words, and this is the different.
No, I don't. I just have some thoughts. Got him. Watching the Yankees. Austin Wells just threw out a guy stealing. I'm not going to go through my whole bracket because NBA bracket's really boring. It doesn't really start till the finals or the conference finals. Cavs C's, I think, is like a mortal lock. Like that's probably -500 to be the matchup right now. Ali, you do know ball, dropping names, but Cavs C's. That was a bad pick. And then Lakers, OKC, I have in the West. OKC is really good, and the Lakers. I'm really high on the Lakers. I have the Lakers going to the finals against the C's. I'll just say
Okay,
that.
so me and Al have the same thing. Your brother has them out in the first round.
I know, crazy. The combo of also when Michael was like, the NBA is such a team sport. Like, no, it's not. The NBA is the most individual team sport there is. Like, stars win the league. And the Lakers are the two, LeBron and Luka, are like the smartest players. Like, them playing together, they can play a two-man game against anyone and go off. That's kind of what I based my picks off. And then I have the C's beating the Lakers. When I don't know when it was, January, February, when they got Luka. When was it? Do you guys know?
February.
February.
I was watching. They had a Lakers game on at the bar that I was working at, and I was watching it, and I was kind of bored, so I put in a future of C's to beat the Lakers in the finals. It was like $45 to win like $1,200. So I'm riding that. So yeah, I've got C's versus Lakers. I think two things. One, just one of the most fun bets to ever have. Draymond under points. In the playoffs, he refuses to shoot the basketball. He'll drive literally to like the circle that you can't take a charge in, stop with 2 feet, and then turn around and look for someone to pass to. He just like will not shoot. I bet that a lot. It hit last night. His line was 10.5. He had 4. If you ever see his line double digits, it's a lock. Also, for everyone that thinks the Celtics are going to win the finals, Kristaps, finals MVP, sneaky bet. He's
I like it.
kind of been the best Celtic for the past month.
He hasn't played.
Since he's come back, he has played. What do you mean?
Y'all are
Well, nowhere
just
versus casual. Here we go.
crazy.
All right, well, the games that I've watched, he's played really well. I'm going to keep him as my sneaky finals MVP bet. Ali.
I like that. Shot in the dark.
So yeah, that's kind of what I got.
It.
Solid stream.
Appreciate
I
you.
don't really think the NBA playoffs are that exciting until we get to the conference finals, like I said. But
Well, I think it's fun where you'll have 4 NBA games on a Saturday, and then there's also NHL. Like you can switch back and forth. Like I think the energy is high, even though there's high expectations for the NBA every year that it's going to be great. Like I was saying before, there's not really first round matchups aren't really good. Like we don't get a lot of game 7s. But I think the West Conference, especially first round this year, is pretty strong with all the matchups outside the Thunder being pretty intriguing. The East is kind of sleepy, like you said, but
I agree.
First round series are good.
I mean,
Celtics Magic is a good series.
Mikey, your West was crazy. I had the opposite of every single pick except OKC.
Hey, I mean, we'll see who wins. The casual versus the ball knower. First, the people who actually watch the NBA. First, the people who keep up with it on Twitter.
True. All right, well, that's what I got.
All right, well, appreciate you. Exciting news to announce. Next week will be NFL mock draft stream. I have one confirmed on board, so I'm sure we'll hear from you again then. If not, have a great evening. Thanks once again for calling in, and we'll be back. NBA playoffs live stream. Have one guest in the wings, maybe some more people who want to come on and jump on to analyze first round, talk second round matchups, that type of stuff. So I'm sure we'll be hearing from you in the future, Mark. And as always, I appreciate you calling in.
Of course.
Any final words for the people? NHL future? Future pick for the NHL. I got the Stars. I placed it a while ago, so the odds aren't that great now because they're one of the favorites. But I'm riding with Dallas for the NHL. Putting that out there.
I don't even know who's in the playoffs for NHL. So.
Okay.
Are the Columbus Blue Jackets in? Did they get in?
No, they have to. They're fighting for the last seed with the team. I'm forgetting the name of the Senators.
Right.
I think.
I'm gonna go to the game then. Is it here?
I don't know. Well, I don't know who they're playing and where it is and whatever.
When are y'all gonna do I've been looking at some NFL futures.
Yeah, we should probably do an NFL. Well, maybe we'll do summer. I don't want to be out every week when there's only a couple things happening. We can just kind of recap it all once it happens in the summer, and then we'll be back weekly NFL.
All right. Well, my mid-April, get it while it's hot NFL future. New Orleans Saints under total wins. Their line's at 6.5 right now. Derek Carr maybe out for the year. Maybe they get Shador. There's, in my mind, 0% chance they get 7 wins this year.
I like that a lot. Kind of a meltdown year. Carr hurt. We'll see.
Drew Aller, tank for Drew Aller.
Good luck with that.
Yep. Or they start tanking for Jeremiah Smith now.
What if they get Kyle McCord? Sleeper.
Bro, you gotta
All
stop
right.
with this crap.
Anything else from you, Mark, before you depart the stream?
Nope, that's it. Thank you,
All
as
right.
always.
Thank you, man. Best of
I
luck
got
for
a
your
future.
futures. Okay, he's out.
I got CJ Stroud MVP.
All right. I mean, we'll open the floor up to you because you probably won't be back for football streams. CJ Stroud MVP year 3. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Anything else before we sign off on this wonderful stream we had?
Nope.
Michael?
Nope. Good luck
All right.
to all involved.
Good luck to
Do
everyone
we
involved.
want to put money on this? Whoever gets the most points?
Yeah, you want to put a 10 on it?
I'll put 10.
Tanner.
Michael, you cool with that?
Yeah.
$20 for the winner. All right, little friendly wager. I will listen back once the round's over to tabulate the points. So It was an honor to be joined by two ball knowers, NBA watchers, experts tonight. Thank you guys so much for coming on, and we will be back for each round after it happens to break down the action and predict what happens next round. Like I said, I think I should have more people coming in. Someone was offended they weren't on the stream tonight, so maybe that person will come in hot with some takes for us.
Ooh.
You'll have to wait and see. That's the teaser.
Campaign.
There you go.
In the chat.
All right, so thanks to all the loyal viewers out there. Today is a special day in Dubcast because we will potentially have 3 podcasts today. Had White Lotus Season 3 this morning, and then we have this stream now, and then tonight, Survivor. New episodes airing right now. We'll have a reaction to that, and then in the future, still got a lot of content coming. Severance Season 2, Daredevil, movie reviews on the way. Exciting stuff, like I just mentioned with Mark, NFL mock draft. Penguin in the future as well. That one's kind of down the road at this point. I watched 2 episodes. Pretty good show, honestly. So yeah, a lot of stuff as always. 2 days from now, guys, 1 year since the Dubcast began. So we are almost a year old.
Woo! That's awesome.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff happening on the Dubcast. With that, we'll sign off. As I always say,